Hi, welcome back to our virtual classroom for marketing management. This is Ma'am Sheena, and today we are going to discuss about identifying market segments and targets. So last time we have discussed analyzing the business market. So if you haven't watched that, I will link or I will put the link below so that you can watch that first. So if you can recall our discussion on chapter one, or one of the first chapters that we have discussed, one of the core marketing concept is what we call the segmentation. So, um, segmentation is done because we wanted to know who our customers really are. It is because of the reality that we cannot sell to everyone. So we should identify who are willing and who are able to buy our products and services. Okay, so I will now be showing my screen. Okay, so while waiting for this to load, we have also discussed the concept of targeting, which means we wanted to identify the characteristics of our target customers, their age, their gender, their characteristics, etc. So here we will discuss what are the basis of segmentation or what can we use to segment our market. Okay, there. So first, we should define what is a segment. So I first encountered the word segment siguro sa line segment during my elementary years for math subject. So yung line segment, di ba parang uh, it's a big line, but it can be divided into different line segments. So in this one, a segment or market segment is consists of a group of customers who share a similar set of needs and wants. So your market segment is a part, kumbaga sa pie graph, your market segment is the part of the market that you can sell to who share a similar set of needs and wants. So the marketer's task is to identify the appropriate number and nature of market segments and decide which ones to target. So as we can see in this diagram, this is the simple description of segmentation. It's all about classifying. So in this group of people, who are you really targeting? So ibig sabihin, sino ang may gusto at sinong may kayang bumili ng product mo. So we can classify them according to their colors, according to their geographic location. A lot of basis for segmentation will be discussed later on. Okay. So as I've said, there are four major segmentation variables. So ibig sabihin nun, these are the different segmentation variables is like the different variables that you can use to divide your market, because segmentation is all about dividing the market, right? So you can use number one, geographic segmentation. So as the term itself, alam mo na kung paano mo siya hatiin. Okay. The second one is demographic segmentation. The third one is psychographic segmentation. And the fourth one is behavioral segmentation. Okay, so let us start with geographic segmentation. So as the term itself, geographic segmentation divides the market into geographical units such as nations, states, regions, counties or countries, cities, or neighborhood. So the company can operate in one or a few areas, or it can operate in all, but pay attention to local variations. So basically, you can check table 9.1 in our ebook by Philip Kotler, Marketing Management by Philip Kotler and Keller. So to check the major segmentation variables for consumer market. So basically what I'm discussing now is all about segmentation for consumer markets. Okay. So as to summarize, geographic segmentation is dividing depending on the location. So basically you can sell, for example, if you have a product, since I am here in Lingayen, Pangasinan, I can target Lingayen or other nearby areas such as Minmalay, Bugalyon, mga Taram, Aguilar, Tagupan, something like that. Okay, so basically, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na buong Pangasinan or buong bansa kasi alam mo naman hindi mo lahat ma-reach. So, kailangan mong hatiin yung market mo based sa kung saang area sila nakalocate. So, yun, isa sa mga segmentation variables natin. But, ang geographic segmentation class is not just the location. So, it can be your time zone, for example, time zone such as, and of course, yung, di ba, sa Asian countries, may mga magkakaparas na time zone, meaning parehas din sila ng time o time ng time of the day, ganyan. Usually, parehas din sila ng climate in season. Usually, pwede mo rin silang i-segment based on cultural preferences, language, or ethnicity based on this one. Okay, so basically different locations have different characteristics. So that is all about geographic segmentation. Okay, the second segmentation variable is demographic segmentation. So one reason demographic variable, so I think we have discussed in the previous chapter that when we talk about demographics, the main variable that we should monitor is all about population. So, ibig sabihin, demographic segmentation is dividing the market with the different characteristics of the population. And this is the most common segmentation is because sa mga questionnaire na nakikita nyo, ito, demographic lahat yun, yung mga age, gender, income, ganyan. Lahat yun ay demographic. So this is the most common. So one reason demographic variables such as age, family life cycle, gender, family size, occupation, income, education, religion, race, generation, nationality, and social class. These are some of the demographic variables. And these are popular is because they are often associated with consumer needs and wants. And at the same time now, they are choosing this one because um these variables are easy to measure. Okay. So basically, ayan. Yan. So basically, we will be discussing the different demographic variables. So hindi lang ito yon, pero these are the major na makikita natin. So first is yung age and life cycle. So basically, different ages have different preferences. So, pwede mong hatiin na 0 to 20, 21 to 39, 40 to 59, ganyan. So, di ba nakikita niyo sa mga questionnaire? It is because the consumer wants and abilities change with age. Okay, right? So, for example, when you are kid, what you are consuming noon na food, na candy, ganyan, or pwedeng hindi mo na kinu-consume now. So, parang sa mga bata pa lang, di ba, ano yun, mga Cerelac, ganyan na ngayon, parang naiiyo ka na kasi masyadong malambot or iwi siya or something like that. So, ibig sabihin, different ages have different preferences. Yan. So, madalas daw, dahil because of this demographic variable, may mga companies na nagta-target ng different, gumagawa sila ng products and services na iba-ibang age brackets ang tina-target. So, merong pang kids, for example, toothpaste, right? Merong pang kids, merong mga pang adults, merong mga older consumers, yung ganon. So, basically, yun yung example natin. And of course, di ba, sa mga diapers naman, merong mga, hindi lang diapers, syempre pati gatas na merong age for age na 6 to 12 months, 0 to 6 months, may 1 to 3 years old, ganyan. So, lahat yan ay depende sa ating age, and life cycle. Okay, so what else here? Another one is about life stage. So if we would define life stage defines a person's major concerns, such as going through a divorce, going into a second marriage, deciding to cohabit with another person, buying a new home, and so on and so forth. So as we discussed in chapter 6, this life stages present opportunities for marketers who can help people cope with the accompanying decision. So you have different preferences. You have different consumer behavior depending on the life stage that you have undergone. So, minsan, in-identify yung sa marital status if you're single, divorced, you're married. Kasi, yeah, different statuses have different needs. Kumbaga, meron kayong different preferences. So, whether you are, kunyari, you are, meron kang anak or wala, iba rin yung mga preferences mo. Okay. And of course, another demographic variable is your gender, right? So, gender, sabi nga nila, men and women have different attitudes and behave differently. So, hindi dapat tayo maging gender bias, but then we wanted to highlight that generally men and women have different preferences. So, for example, di ba parang litkit ka lang, ganyan, who are you targeting? Siyempre, the women. So, meron namang iba naman na mga, yung part ng LGBT, lalo na yung mga gays, na gusto nila ng lip tint. So, pwede mo rin silang isama. So, not necessarily na pag women na ang tinarget mo, pwede hindi na isama yung men. So, something like that. So, according to the studies now, based on genetic makeup and partly on socialization, men and women have different attitudes and behavior. So, research shows that women have traditionally tended to be more communal-minded and men are more self-expressive and goal-directed. So women have tended to take in more of the data in their immediate environment and men to focus on the part of the environment that helps them achieve a goal. So tingnan natin, sino kaya ang pinaka madalas mag-shopping, ganyan. So yung mga online platforms natin such as Lazada or Shopee, sino kayang mga tina-target nila, di ba? So, we wonder. So, yun, pwede mong ihiwalay according to gender. Okay, the next one is income. Okay. Siyempre, di ba, when you answer sa ating mga surveys, di ba, merong income na zero, ilan ang income mo per month, ganyan. Actually, it's a long-standing practice na ginagamit tong income, lalo na sa mga cars, right? So, mga cars, mga kailangan ng mga bahay, ganyan. Ano bang target mo na, or do you have a product, anything, na may mga products kasi na tina-target mo yung may mas mataas na income. Contrary to what we know, may mga products naman talaga kasi na mahal talaga kasi meron silang income na tina-target na kahit mas mataas siya. Siyempre, mga luxury brands, kanyan. So, if your income is 10,000 and below, siyempre hindi ikaw yung market nun. Okay. So, yung next is yung generation or also known as your cohort. COHORT. So it's profoundly influenced by the times in which it grows up, the music, movies, politics, defining events of that period. Actually, the generation has a long discussion on your ebook kasi pinapakita doon na different generations have different wants. So I belong to Gen Y or Millennial. Most of you belong to Gen Z. Pero may hindi naman malayo ang pagkakaiba nila. But syempre, in terms of technology, in terms of values, pwede mong ihiwalay yun. So, mostly ngayon, yung mga companies I noticed that they have been targeting the millennials or Gen Z, ganyan. Kasi sila yung mas maano sa mga marketing strategies ng mga meme, ng mga videos, yung mga weird, ganyan. So, yun. So, pwede mo silang i-target. I think, kasama rin dito sa generation, yung mga different, I think sa race and culture mostly yun. Pero, yung race and culture kasi meron tayong tinatawag na multicultural marketing. So it is an approach recognizing that different ethnic and cultural segments have sufficiently different needs and wants to require targeted marketing activities, and that a mass market approach is not refined enough for the diversity of the marketplace. So we should recognize that different cultures, different, di ba, parang sa Philippines pa lang, ng dami-daming mga different cultures here na, syempre, different cultures have different preferences, different needs. So, in terms of religion, may mga hindi kumakain ng pork or something like that. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ang multicultural marketing class is you target different cultures, parang different cultures with just one product. So, para na rin siyang para na rin siyang mass customization but more on multicultural siya. So I think nabanggit dito yung sa LGBT, you can mention that in terms of gender, yun, in terms of generation, in terms of education, then pwede rin. So yun. So at the same time, these are the other other demographic variables such as your occupation, location, kanina geographic na yun, income, hobbies, gender, interest, age, value. So makikita niyo yung values, pwede rin siyang mag-fall sa ibang type ng segmentation variable. Okay. So the third segmentation variable class is your psychographic segmentation. So sa psychographic segmentation, galing siya sa psychographics. Madalas yung mga estudyante ko nagkakamali dito kasi ang tanong ko, science of using psychology and demographics to better understand consumer, ang sagot nila, it's either psychographic segmentation or psychographic. Okay, so it should be psychographics. Parang statistics na meron S. Yun, so in psychographic segmentation, pinaghahalo kasi yung psychology and demographics, okay? So, they are divided into groups on the basis of psychological or personal traits, lifestyle, or values. So, dito yung sinasabi ko na, okay, yung values, pwede siyang mag-fall sa psychographic segmentation. Okay. So, people within the same demographic group can exhibit very different psychographic profiles. Okay, so if we would differentiate the two, yung demographics sa psychographics, in terms of demographics, pwedeng age, gender, occupation, location, education, premarital status. Pero sa psychographics, yung personality traits, lifestyle, attitude, values, interests, or beliefs. So, pwede siya kasi sa if you can remember yung consumer behavior and psychological processes. So ito, concerts, festivals, good savor, romance, comedies, cat lover, spa holidays, ganyan. So at the same time, meron tayo dito more factors of psychographic segmentation, yung lifestyle or your pattern of living, opinions, interests, activities, and social status. Okay? So, our interest at yung values is under your psychographic segmentation, yung location is under geographic. Kasi baka malito kayo doon sa previous example. Okay. And the last basis for segmentation variable is what we call behavioral segmentation. So, in behavioral segmentation class, marketers divide buyers into groups on the basis of their knowledge of, attitude toward, use of, or response to a product. So, depende sa knowledge nila sa product, sa attitude towards the product, how they use the product, and how they respond to a product. So, this one is very interesting. So, makikita nyo, ang behavioral segmentation, it can be needs and benefits, decision roles, it can be initiator, influencer, decider, buyer, or user. Okay, I think na-discuss natin to previously. Okay, and of course, yung user and usage-related variables. So, let us discuss yung user and usage-related variables, such as occasion. So, Occasions mark a time of day, week, month, year, or other well-defined temporal aspects of a consumer's life. So basically, nakikita mo dyan, based on occasion, what are the products na particularly offer depending on the occasion itself. So, pwedeng Christmas, Valentine's Day, or summer, kaya dapat nagka-travel ka sa beach, ganyan. So, for example, air travel is triggered by occasions related to business, vacation, or family. So, occasion segmentation can help expand product usage. Yeah. So, the second user and usage related is yung user status. Yan. So, user status class, ito yung gaano ka kadalas gumamit ng product. So, pwedeng ikaw ay non-user, you're not using the product, ex-user, you are using the product before, pero hindi mo na siya ginagamit ngayon. Potential user, ibig sabihin, pwede kang gumamit, pero you are not still using it. First-time users and regular users. I think pwede natin siyang relate doon sa ating marketing funnel. Yan, blood banks cannot rely only on regular donors to supply blood. They must also recruit new first-time donors and contact ex-donors, each with a different strategy. So the key to attracting potential users or even positive or passively non-users is understanding the reasons why they are not using the product. So kailangan mo understand what are their attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors, or just lack of knowledge or the brand benefits. So, yun. So, ang pinaka nangangailangan ng marketing mo dito, syempre, is yung potential users dahil may chance na bumili sila ng product. Okay? And pwede rin sigurong non-users or ex-users, how will they return or how will they start to purchase your product? First-time users mas more on, kailangan din ng marketing kasi kailangan mo silang ma-retain, right? Actually, lahat. Feeling ko lahat. So, depende na lang din sa reasoning niyo. If I would ask you, okay, you can comment down below which of the different user status need the biggest marketing effort. Is it the non-user? Ilagay nyo ng number 1 ha, para alam ko. Yan. Non-user, ex-user, potential user, first-time user, or regular user. Kasi di ba we wanted to target the loyal customers. So, pwede rin naman regular users, right? Yan. Next is, okay. The next one is all about your usage rate. So, ibig sabihin nun, kung kanina, gaano basta yung status mo as a user, ito naman, yung usage rate, so gaano ka kadalas gumamit ng product. Okay, kumbaga, yung user status is ka-classify ka, anong klase kang user. Pero ito, gaano ka kadalas gumamit ng product if you are a user. So, pwede kang light, medium, heavy product user. So, heavy users are often small slice but account for high percentage of total consumption. Ayan. So, next is all about your buyer readiness stage. So, buyer readiness stage is, ito yung, we should recognize that some people are unaware of the product, some are aware, some are informed, some are interested, some desire the product, and some intend to buy. So, to help characterize how many people are at different stages, and how well they have converted people from one stage to another, we can recall the marketing funnel to break the market into buyer readiness stages. So, yun yung sinabi ko na marketing funnel from ikaw yung trier, ikaw yung loyal, yung ganon. I think, meron din to sa Entrep, right? So, the proportions of consumers at different stages make a difference in deciding the marketing program. So, yun. So, next is your loyalty status. This one is really my favorite. I think nabanggit ko to sa Entrep class ko na how will you define what is loyalty? So marketers usually envision four groups based on brand, loyalty, status. Yan, pakinggan nyo to kung which type of loyal are you? Okay. So the second question in this video is for you to identify yourself. Okay. Which type of loyal are you? So you should identify a product, tapos anong type ka, and then why. Okay. So, for example, toothpaste, ako ay hardcore loyal kasi isa lang gusto kong brand ng toothpaste. Okay. So, kasi, what is the reason? Because yun na yung nakagisa or sa shampoo, ganyan. So, number one, class, ng type ng loyal is yung tinatawag nating hardcore loyal. Consumers who buy only one brand all the time. Ito yung legit na loyal kasi hindi sila pumapayag na bumili ng ibang product. So, kapag naubusan ng stock, hahanap at hahanap sila ng brand na yun. Okay? So, the second one is split loyal. Yeah, medyo na-define na natin. Ano itong mga type ng loyals na ito? At kung matatawag ba silang loyal based on the definition. So, ang split loyals naman is the second type. Consumers who are loyal to 2 or 3 brands. Okay, so hindi lang siya loyal sa isa, but pwede niyang pagpalitin yung 3 or 2 brands. Okay? The third one is shifting loyals. Consumers who shift loyalty from one brand to another. So, sabi ko dito talaga, matagal ko na ito dinidiscuss, pero lagi kong linya is, okay, if the consumer is shifting loyalty from one brand to another, does it mean loyal pa rin ba siya nun? Right? And of course, yung pinaka less loyal, we can say that, is yung switcher. Pero type pa rin siya ng loyal, right? Switcher is consumers who show no loyalty to any brand. So basically, hindi siya loyal, right? So, wala siyang loyal sa kahit anong brand. So basically, feeling ko switcher ako in terms of sa body soap. Kasi kahit anong body soap ang gamit ko, pwede, right? So, you can also comment identify what type of product, tas anong type ng loyal kayo doon. Okay? Kasi, pwedeng, sa shampoo, hardcore loyal ka, sa sabon, pwedeng switcher ka. Sa brand ng ganito, pwedeng, sa soft drinks, pwedeng shifting loyal ka, yung ganon. So, that is my explanation for loyalty status. The next one is attitude. So, dito daw, sa attitude, meron tayong tinatawag na 5 consumer attitudes. So, enthusiastic, positive, indifferent, negative, and hostile. So, imagine niyo na para siyang isang buong linya. Yung enthusiastic, yung pinaka-positive. Yung hostile is the pinaka-negative na attitude towards that product. So, kumbaga, 5 yung enthusiastic, yung hostile is 1. Right? So, indifferent is 3. Ibig sabihin you're either positive or negative about the product. So, yun. And the last is yung multiple basis. So, yung multiple basis class is actually combining different behavioral bases. So, basically, itong ating multiple basis is pwede mong paghalo-haluin itong pwede kang gumamit ng several variables to segment your market. So you can check that in figure 9.3. Okay? So I think meron akong example later on sa multiple basis, but you can check here yung iba't ibang types or ibang pang variables ng behavioral segmentation, yung purchase behavior, occasion or time, benefit sought, customer loyalty, customer journey stage, engagement, satisfaction. So this is actually an example of a multiple basis na model. Ayan, so yung target market, pwedeng aware and aware. So pag aware siya, not tried. Yan. So, kapag not-tried, negative opinion, neutral, favorable, or sabi mo, hostile, enthusiast, and then not-tried is indifferent ba siya, hostile, or negative. Pag tried, indifferent ba siya, enthusiastic, or satisfied, or something like that. So, pwede mo siyang paghalu-haluin na parang pwede mo siyang gawin structure, right? So, ito ko yung summary ng discuss natin. So, we have different market segmentation approaches, geographical, yan, based on the location, based on the climate, yan. Demographic is all about the different population variables. So, huwag kayong malilito doon sa population kasi ang ibig sabihin ng population is the population, the number ng population for a particular location. So, yung demographic, yung characteristics ng population. So, merong age, gender, family size, ganyan. The psychographic lifestyle, social class, activity, interest, opinion, values, attitudes. So, behavioral, occasions, loyalty, benefits sought, user, buyer readiness stage, user status. So, meron tayong example dito. Okay. So, ito kasi may dinagdag siya. I think wala ditong behavioral, pero pwede ito na ito yung behavioral, right? So, yung Amazon is an example of an online website, online shop, right? So, isa nga sa mga dream ko talaga mag-order sa Amazon kasi ang mahal naman kasi ng shipping fee papunta dito sa Pilipinas. So, merong rumor dati na magkakaroon daw ng Philippine-based Amazon. Parang siyang Shopee or Lazada, pero I think abroad siya. Yan. So, sa Amazon daw ito, demographic nila, people with internet access, age nila 25 to 50, 45% of online buyers belong to 35 to 40 na issue, focusing on a younger audience. Okay. Situational segmentation, convenience a major reason for online purchase, interest in categories, few lucrative deals every day, every hour, low pricing as a major factor for purchasing online. I think hindi to behavioral, pero I think this is something na it's another type ng situation na kasi parang contingency na depending on the situation. Okay? So, kapag behavioral ang isasama natin dito, what type of loyalist kaya? Pwede kasi mga secure eh. Or pwede rin depende sa occasion, right? So, nagbebenta sila ng Christmas tree on Christmas season, may mga roses, etc. pag February, or basta mga ganun. So, psychographic naman, customers segmented by loyalty, customers who like innovations and changes to the website, those who value customer care first, people who click on recommended and suggested products the most, and say geographic international appeal, digital sales over real-world sales, focuses on developed areas. Ibig sabihin na yung mga mayayaman talagang target nila, right? For rural areas, smartphone use crucial. So, yun. So, that is the 4 bases for segmentation, 4 bases for dividing your market. So, we have 4, yung geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Okay. So, we continue with the effective segmentation criteria. So, sabi nila, when you segment your market, it should be number 1, measurable. So, if you want to memorize this, it's MSADA, MSADA, MSADA. So, I usually do that to memorize it. So, first is measurable now. So, measurable, the size, purchasing power, and characteristics of the segments can be measured. Diba? If you can remember your SMART objectives, meron tayo dong specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Dito naman, pag magsa-segment ka, you need to make sure that it is measurable. Kaya mong i-measure yung area of your coverage, ilan kailangan mong ma-estimate na. Okay. Second is it should be substantial. So the segments are large and profitable enough to serve. So feeling ko naman itong substantial. It's not so big and it's not so small. So may mga time kasi na you segment your market too small na wala ka lang kinikita. Okay? Pero may times naman na you segment it too big na hindi mo na focus kung sino talaga ang mabebentahan. Okay. Third is accessible. Ito accessible is something na kailangan mo madaling ma-reach yung mga customers mo. Kasi for example, Lingayen-based ka, tapos yung mga customer mo taga Manila or taga La Union. Ganyan yung parang if they have customer service, although online na ngayon na, pero if they need customer service na face-to-face, you should be able to satisfy them. Okay. 4 is differentiable. So the segments are conceptually distinguishable and respond differently to different marketing mix and elements and programs. Ang differentiable ang sinasabi niya, you should be able to identify one segment from another. So if you want to segment yung mga single people, if you want to segment the married people, so ibig sabihin, iba-iba kasi sila ng preferences, so iba rin yung mga marketing programs for each. So kailangan hindi mo sila mapaghalo. You should be able to separate your segments. Okay? And last is actionable. So you should be able to reach them effectively. So kung hindi mo naman kaya, why choose them, right? So effective programs can be formulated for attracting and serving the segment. So if you cannot make a program na appropriate for them, then it's not the right segmentation. Okay. So, as I've told you earlier, lahat ng mga diniscuss ko, it's all about consumer market segmentation. So ito, meron tayong segmentation for business markets mula demographic, meron tayo ditong operating variables, purchasing approaches, situational factors, personal characteristics. So usually, hindi naman na ito ina-emphasize, but you can read this para at least kapag kayo magtatayo ng isang business and if you want to know who your business or who your customers na business din, mga B2B, okay, malalaman ninyo how to segment them. For example, itong demographic, which industry should we serve, right? So, kung restaurant ka, anong type ng restaurant? Mga ganun, very, very specific siya. Okay. So, the next one is all about industry attractiveness. So, si Michael Porter, so Michael Porter has identified 5 forces that determine the intrinsic long-run attractiveness of a market. Just to make it simpler, merong mga forces na tinitingnan mo if ang pag-invest for a certain market or for a certain industry is attractive in the long run. Okay, so ibig sabihin, yung 5 forces na yon yung industry competitors, potential entrants, substitute buyers, and suppliers. So yung 5 forces na yan, may kanya-kanya silang threats na pinopose. Ibig sabihin nun, kapag mataas yung threat na to, ibig sabihin pag high yung threats na yan, in the long run, hindi siya magandang pag-investan na industry. Okay? So explain natin to isa-isa. Yan. For example, intense segment rivalry, if there are a lot of competitors, then, actually itong, tinuturo ko yung top ko. So, if itong intense segment rivalry, kapag ito, all these are high, ibig sabihin, this is the threat of intense segment rivalry is high. So, first is yung threat of new entrants. Yung threat of new entrants, madali bang makapasok? For example, I am the business, no? Madali bang makapas or I am the existing business? Yung, if there is a new company or organization or business na gustong pumasok sa industry na yun, mas madali ba silang makapasok o mahirap? Okay? Mataas ang threat of new entrants kapag madali lang makapasok ang mga new businesses. Why? Kasi ibig sabihin, mas marami kang potential na mga, di ba? Mas marami kang potential na maging kakompetensya. So it's not attractive in the long run kapag mataas yung threat of new entrants. Third, marami bang substitute products ang in-offer mo? Okay? Medyo familiar ako dito kasi I've done it in my paper about sa bagoong industry. For example, ang substitute products ng bagoong is pwedeng soy sauce. Hindi naman kasi lahat may gusto ng bagoong, right? So, pwedeng gumamit sila ng soy sauce or yung Worcestershire. Hindi ko mapanggit talaga. Pero mga oyster sauce, ganyan, lahat yan ay mga threat, mga substitute products. So, ibig sabihin, if mataas yung substitution, hindi rin attractive in the long run kasi pwede kang palitan anytime. So, pag hindi mo na-satisfy yung gusto nila, or kunyari, nagka-allergy sila, pwede kang palitan as a condiment or sausawan, ganyan. Next is threat of buyers' growing bargaining power. unattractive ang isang business kapag madaling makipag-bargain yung mga customer. They have the power over you, right? So, pag hindi kayo pumayag dito sa price na to, lilipat kami. Di ba ganun yung ginagawa niyo? Pag nakikipag-bargain kayo, ay sige, hanap na lang ako ng iba. Ibig sabihin nun, mataas yung threat na yan. Okay? Yung next naman is yung threat of suppliers' growing bargaining power. Ito naman, unattractive din yung business kapag mataas to kasi kapag may supplier ka at tinaasan niya yung price, dahil siya lang ang supplier, okay? Dahil siya lang ang supplier, mapipilitan kang bumili kahit um, kahit mas mataas yung price kasi pwedeng wala kang choice or yung ngayon na interested mo. So, ibig sabihin, mataas yung bargaining power ng supplier. Obvious, kapag mataas yung threat na yan, ibig sabihin yung industry na yan is hindi siya attractive in the long run. Okay, I hope that is clear. So this is the example. Pwede natin tingnan sa threat of new entrants, barriers to entry. Mas maraming barriers. For example, yung capital, di ba? Hindi lahat kasi ng mga companies ay pagkapasok nila, kaya kaagad nila yung mga napunod. So, isipin na lang natin sa telecommunication company. So aside from Smart Art Pro, meron tayong new telecommunication company which is your Dito. Okay. Una sa lahat, mataas naman talaga yung threat ng new entrants. Hindi. Actually, nung unang mababa talaga yung threat ng new entrants. Kasi imagine mo, yung Smart at Globe ay ang tagal-tagal na nila na duopoly na dalawa lang sila. Okay? Tapos, at the same time, pag may papasok, hindi nila kakayanin na yung mga binil na mga satellite, magbibuild sila. Yung ganon, pag mataas na yung capital na kailangan, is yung new entrants mahirapang pumasok. Okay? Yun. Pero, meron mataas din kasi ang substitute products, threat of substitute products, especially in telecom. Kaya sila nagpapaunahan. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo yung Globe, kapag merong promo, meron din promo yung Smart na mas, tawag dito, mas bumababa. So, pababa ng pababa. Although nag-benefit yung customer doon. So, kapag mataas din kasi yung competition, nagbe-benefit naman yung customer. So, I hope that is clear. Okay. And last topic for this chapter is all about this one. So, meron yung mga target segments natin kasi merong 4 levels. Yung 4 levels na yon, pwedeng mass, which is maramihan, lahat bebentahan mo. Okay. Second is multiple segment. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nahati yung segment, is marami kang ita-target doon. Okay. The third one is single or niche segment. And next is yung individual or tigi isa-isa. Okay. Kung kumbaga kapag ito yung mass, palit na ng palit yan. Yung multiple segment siguro kung ang mass is 10, yung multiple segment mga 5, yung single is mga isa lang siguro. Okay, pero yung individual kasi, yung one group na yan, iisa-isahin niya pa per individual, per tao, para siyang customized. So, mass targeting approach, usually class. Okay. Ito kasi, yung bawat 4 levels na to, merong tinatawag tayong approaches. Okay? So, yung approaches na yun sa mass, ito yung full market coverage. Sa multiple segment, itong multiple segment. Single segment ito. Tapos individuals at segment. So, i-discuss naman natin siya dito. Okay. So, yung approaches dyan is yung full market coverage, multi-segment specialization, single segment concentration, at individual marketing. Okay. So, kaya siya full market coverage class kasi lahat ng buong market ay isasatisfy mo or bebentahan mo. Okay, usually mga big companies lang to ha, mga Unilever, kung mapasin nyo, Unilever, mga P&G, ito kasi yung full market coverage class. Ang dami nilang products na iba't ibang lahat ng, kumbaga types ng consumer segments ay tinatarget nila. For example, sa sabon pa lang, kala ko dati magkakompetensya yung Tide or Yel, ganyan. Yun pala, isan lang sila na company, P&G think, pero iba-iba yung target market niya. Ito, target pang mayaman, yung Tide, iba rin yung target market niya, yung ganon. So, ibig sabihin ng full market coverage class, i-attempt niya na i-serve lahat ng customer groups, okay, with all the products they might need. So, very big companies do this. Na akala natin magkakakompetensya sila kasi para sila ng mga sabon, para sila ng mga shampoo, pero isang company lang pala sila. Okay? Yung second naman is multiple segment specialization. I think that meron pa pala kayo discuss sa full market coverage. Yung tinatawag nating differentiated, meron kasing two ways on how you can cover a whole market. So number one is differentiated or undifferentiated marketing. So differentiated and the second is undifferentiated. So start tayo sa undifferentiated. Ibig sabihin walang pagkakaiba. This is what we call your mass marketing. Ibig sabihin marami kang tina-target. Okay, marami kang tina-target with just one product. So basically kumbaga parang hindi mo kino-consider kung ito ay babae, lalaki, may single or married itong income na to. Ibig sabihin nun, any type of consumer, isa lang yung product mo. Okay? Ibig sabihin, mass marketing siya. So, parang, kumbaga, mass marketing, parang papalabas sa TV, lahat ng pwede bumili ganon. Okay. Pero the second one class is yung tinatawag natin na differentiated. Okay. So, ang differentiated marketing is yung sinasabi ko kanina na PNG, na iba-ibang products, pero iba-iba rin yung iba-iba rin yung segments of the market. So, yung Ariel pang mayaman, yung Tide ganito, yung mga with less income na mga households, ganyan, or iba-iba pang sabon. Okay? Kasi kung ibig sabihin natin ng mass marketing, isang sabon lahat na for the whole product. Pero ang differentiated marketing, kinikater niya pa rin yung bawat segment, pero ang dami niyang product na in-offer. Basta ang target nito class is buong market, lahat. Okay? The second one, kung differentiate natin siya sa full market, ang full market is buo. Ang multiple segment is marami. Pero necessarily na lahat. Sa multi-segment specialization, meron tayong tinatawag na selective specialization. So, a firm selects all subsets of all possible segments, each objectively attractive and appropriate. So, there may be little or no synergy among the segments, but each promises to be a money maker. So, ang gusto nila, kung hindi man natin ma-target lahat, okay, pumili na lang tayo ng segment kung saan tayo makaka-attract ng mga tao. So, I think meron din tayong tinatawag dito na super segment. So, it's a set of segments sharing some exploitable similarity. So, may mga segments kasi na kahit iba-iba sila. For example, Gen Z, ibang segment ng Gen Z, iba rin ang segment ng Gen Y, pwede silang matawag na super segment. Okay, for example, isipin natin yung next pa na mga generations na meron tayong mga pagkakaparehas na maano sa technology, magaling sa, mahilig sa meme, ganyan. So, ibig sabihin, noon, meron tayong similarity na pwedeng gamitin ng mga marketers. Kaya tayo pwedeng tawagin na super segment. Ayan. So, a firm can also attempt to achieve some synergy with product or market specialization. So, meron tayong dalawa dito, yung product specialization, wherein the firm sells a certain product to several market segments. Okay. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, meron kang product, meron kang maraming market. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, meron ka isang product, pero kaya niyang i-target yung different types of market or customer segment. Okay? Ang pinagkaiba niyan sa market specialization is the firm concentrates on serving many needs of a particular customer group. So, kung kanina yung product specialization, one product, many markets. Okay? Ito naman, one market with many products. Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, pag ang gusto mong i-target ay isang customer group lang, lahat ng gusto nila na magkakaiba, market specialization din. Nag-focus ka lang sa market. Okay? You wanted to satisfy the one consumer group with different types of products. Okay? Kapag naman product specialization, ulitin natin. Okay? One product, pero different customer groups. Okay? The second to the last one ay yung tinatawag natin na single segment concentration. So yung second single segment concentration is the firm markets to only one particular segment. Isa lang talaga. Usually daw mga luxury brands to eh. Mga Porsche, ganyan, Mercedes-Benz, ganyan. I do not even know if I pronounce it right. Ayan. Pero ang single segment, meron tayong tinatawag na niche. So a more narrowly defined customer group seeking a distinctive mix of benefits within a segment. So yung niche class, merong particular segment na yun lang talaga ang tina-target mo. Kumbaga, sabi nila, uy, nakabuo siya ng niche sa group na yan, na parang, hindi kasi ako makaisip ng specific ngayon, pero meron tayong isang product na meron lang siyang kayang isatisfy na particular market, okay? Parang nakabuo ka ng segment na yun ang customer group na kaya mong isatisfy. Okay, so I hope you can provide some examples for that. So that is the third question. What are the examples of niche, especially in this pandemic or in the Philippines na kung hindi naman pandemic? Okay. And last is my favorite because ang individual marketing is something that we really need now. So individual marketing is segments of one. It's also known as segments of one, customized marketing, or one-to-one marketing. Okay. Especially here in this dynamic environment na iba-ibang preferences ng mga tao at uso yung mga customized talaga, di ba? Customized shirt, customized mugs, customized na kahit mga lalagyan ng mask, lahat may pangalan because we wanted to create something na kayang isatisfy yung lahat. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kunyari ako, iba yung preference ko, iba rin preference, iba rin ang color, ibang design. Yun yung sinasabi natin na individual marketing. Per tao siya. Okay? And of course, ang gusto nating i-achieve dito sa individual marketing, yung sinasabi natin na, para siyang para siyang oxymoron, tama ba? Mass customization. Okay, mass customization. So isipin natin, paano siya magiging customize kung maramihan, right? So, ibig sabihin, i-customize mo siya based sa maraming tao. For example, siguro, sa mga taga-PSU, ano ang pwede natin i-mass customize? Customize siya kasi pang PSU lang, pero maramihan. So, pwede siguro yung mga shirts, mga cap, na, mga pins, ganyan, na pwedeng pang PSU. That is mass customization. So, it's the ability of a company to meet each customer's requirements to prepare on a mass basis, individual design products, services, programs, and communication. So dahil, di ba, imagine mo, a product na pang PSU lang is customized. Pero dahil pwede mo siyang i-produce ng maramihan, it's mass customization, right? So it's very smart to think, if we would think, kasi pwede mo i-customize pero marami kang matatarget. Okay, so we want to achieve that in individual marketing. Okay, I think that is the end of my video. Okay, thank you. Ayan, hiningal tayo. So I hope you learn a thing or two. So I have several questions. So you could find that. Lagyan nyo lang ng number para I could see kung ano yung mga sagot ninyo. Okay, and thank you for listening. Although medyo mahaba siya, thank you dahil sobrang na-excite ako. This is one of my favorite chapters in the book. And of course, if you have questions, you can always message me in our MS Teams group or through our messenger chat. And you can also read our ebook because I got all this information through our book Marketing Management by Kotler and Keller. Yon. Thank you guys for another lecture. So, ibig sabihin nun, we are down to the last part before we have our midterm exam. So, hopefully, you have learned a thing or two in this very interesting chapter. So, yun guys, thank you very much for listening. Okay, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.